Mining missions can take a long time if the mission length is 3. Usually the rooms deeper into the map hold the most Morkite, so by the 3rd or 4th room, there's a good chance of it having around 100 to 150 Morkite. These rooms are a good 200 meters away from spawn. When the drop pod is called, it'll be near spawn and you'll have to travel all the way back like 200 meters. So just go half the distance and then call in the drop pod to save time because you won't have to travel through a swarm. Unless you're part of a team of greybeards, usually your team won't like it if you pick out 2 eggs at the same time. The swarms stack in this mission type, so if you were to pick out 2 eggs at the same time, you'll have to fight 2 swarms at the same time. If you're relatively new, I suggest taking out 1 egg at a time and make sure that your team is ready for the swarm before you do so. Don't bother making complex pathways to get to each pump jack. Instead, just have your driller dig directly to the pump jack and have one other person, let's say the gunner, cover him and build the pipes. Scout and engineer can go nitro hunting. If the mini-mules are close by, you can split up to quickly build each one since you usually don't have to worry about huge swarms during this process. During uplink stages, drill the uplink panel slightly below ground level, have your engineer make a roof of platforms above you, and drill out an emergency bunker just in case things go sideways. Speed is the name of the game. This mission can be done in 5-10 minutes tops. You'd have to have some of the worst RNG in history for this mission to take longer than 15 minutes. The less time you spend collecting aquarks, the less chance there is for the mission to fail. For elimination, I'll give 2 tips in general, and then I'll give tips depending on each dreadnought type. So make sure when fighting a dreadnought, you're in an arena with a ton of open space. The last thing you want to do is to fight in a closed area with a dreadnought in front of you. If you aren't, then drill to one and lure the dreadnought over there. If you happen to have a bulk detonator close to a dreadnought cocoon, it is certainly worth your time to save the bulk detonator, pop the cocoon, and kill the detonator when it's next to the dreadnought. It can one-shot a dreadnought. For the hive guard, split up a little and cover each other when it spawns in Glyphid sentinels. They're weak from behind just like your mom, so helping your teammates is priority number 1. You do not want to get stuck in close quarters with the hive guard. For the standard dreadnought, it's a jack of all trades. It has long range attacks and close range attacks. Drill emergency bunkers because the dreadnought won't be able to fit inside. Aside from that, the only real tip I can give you is to just stay on the move at all times. For the twins, I suggest focusing on 1 twin at a time. You can usually get a twin really low just before they heal up. It's easier to fight 1 twin than 2. Arbalest is the one that causes the most trouble since it likes to play at a close range, so focus that one first. The only tip I can really give for this mission does have the potential to ruin it for you. But if you want to have an easy time doing this mission, have your driller drill to the refill rooms and ultimately to the one with the heartstone beforehand. Get all the minerals it has to offer, get familiar with the room layouts, and then go all the way back to start up the Reddo. It'll be smooth sailing from there. You could split up into groups of 2, one to drill to the refill rooms, and after the first room, the second group can start up the drill dozer, but it's very risky. It can save a lot of time though. If you're confident enough, split into groups of 2 and do both hacking pods simultaneously. I do not recommend this, however, unless it's below Has 4 or you're a team of relatively experienced players. As for the caretaker, stay on the move. Remember, its arms can follow you for crazy long distances if your team decides to run away. Stock up on nitra and call in 4 supply pods before the fight, 1 for each dwarf. And make sure the resupply pods are in cover, whether that be in a tunnel or under a platform roof. Station each dwarf on a different side of the caretaker, it'll make the fight extremely efficient. Also, you can make a platform bridge to the top of the caretaker, where the driller can place C4. If you blow up the C4 when the caretaker is in its spinny phase, where you have to kill all the 4, ears of the caretaker, it'll get them all extremely low and basically one shot.